We brought our drum here today, and so I want to just take a few minutes to share a little bit about the drum and share a little bit about why we're here today as First Nations people.
Hey, Jack.
As First Nations people, we're no strangers to occupation. We're also no strangers to prisons. In fact, for us, occupation... For us, the concept of prison and occupation is inextricably connected. The first prisons...
The devil is alive. I can't get it out.
The first prisons were... The first prisons were the reservation and the slave plantation.
That's right.
So as we gather here today, we want to take a moment to think a little bit about the conditions that has entrapped many of our relatives behind enemy lines in these things called prisons now. Because we have to acknowledge the majority are people of African and indigenous descent, and that we have historical intergenerational trauma. We have
post-colonial
stress disorder in our communities.
Oh, I know.
And what we know is that hurt people hurt people. What we're doing and what we are organizing in our communities to do is to reclaim and relearn our traditional ways. We had our own way of dealing with harm when it was caused in the community a long time ago. And it was about restoration and healing, not this system of crime and repression and punishment. So we get a lot of strength and we get a lot of healing from this drum. For us, the drum is medicine. So we're going to offer some songs today to help open it up. And the songs we're going to offer, the first song is the American Indian Movement National Anthem. That song has a story behind it too. The song was gifted to the American Indian Movement by the Yellow Thunder family a long time ago. And Raymond Yellow Thunder was a native man who was killed by some racists, and it was just another Indian dead, and it was treated that way by this system until the American Indian Movement organized and mobilized for justice for him. And so, we can't talk about prisons in isolation without talking about systems of police brutality and the criminal and justice system. We know that there's two tracks of system, that there's a just us system and a justice system. And so that's how the American Indian Movement song was given. The other song we're going to offer and sing today is the Leonard Peltier song. And for those who don't know, Leonard Peltier is one of the longest standing political prisoners in the nation, one of the warriors of the American Indian Movement. And right now there's a freedom walk for his freedom. There's a freedom walk to demand his freedom, to demand clemency from the Obama administration for our relative, for our warrior, for our friend, Leonard Peltier. So these are the songs that we're going to offer. Right now I'm going to ask my sister, Morningstar Galley, she has a statement that's been developed on behalf of our First Nations communities.
Greetings. I just want to say that it's an honor to be here with all of you today. My father was imprisoned here at San Quentin for over 7 years. For 15 years after he was released, due to his involvement with the Third World Liberation Front, he returned here and offered these songs and prayers and ceremonies to these brothers behind the walls here. I want to thank JR for being here today because he's helped with that as well. And so for those 15 years, I came here to this prison. And we went in for the powwows and for the ceremonies, and really connected with the young ones from the young ones to the elders that were here. And so I just want to offer that today and remember all of them that are here. This is a statement from Leonard Peltier that has been in prison for over 36 years. He says, "Greetings. From inside a prison cell I call out to you. Hello to Mumia Abu Jamal supporters. Hello to Troy Davis supporters. Hello to Occupy Oakland. Hello to my own supporters. Hello to everyone else whose conscience compels you to gather here today. I'm so thankful this country and the world still has people who look beyond their own lives and their own conditions to remember others who for different lives and their own condition for different reasons have become victims of a deeply flawed justice system. I believe whenever people gather together with an interest of the common good of all men in their hearts, that is a sacred gathering and pleases the Creator. For what man is a man and what woman is a woman who does not try to make the world a better place? Today in the shadow of San Quentin, the belly of the beast housing 700 men the state wants to kill, you come together to speak of injustice and reform. Well, they will not come out and say it. I have been given a life sentence for a crime I did not commit. I defended my people from a government waging war on defenseless elders and traditional believers. Many friends of mine died in that war, and because 2 FBI agents also died, I have been in jail for 36 years. I have been held despite evidence that the government withheld and manipulated evidence, coerced witnesses, and did all they could to keep me from proving my innocence. I have been held longer than their own laws say I should be, all because I am a symbol and a reminder of what they will do to anyone who stands up against their authority. But all this shows is that they only have violent access to authority. They do not have righteousness or decency or even legality on their side. Throughout history, all such systems that ignore justice and rights to rule by force eventually fell. We have seen that minorities are incarcerated far more and for far longer periods of time than Caucasians. We further know that minorities receive the death sentence in far greater numbers. We know poor people get convicted and serve longer than those with money and influence. Even if you support a death penalty, these facts alone indicate that we must have a moratorium on executions until we can rectify these issues. It's the only reasonable alternative to continuing a racist and biased system.
Straight up.
I believe a civilized country does not commit murder. Murder is not justice, no matter the crime or situation. Justice is all parties agreeing on a suitable outcome. Murder does not bring closure to anyone or any situation. Murder does not create healing. We know that America has executed innocent people. We further know more innocents will die unless the system is rebuilt from the ground up. It is true that for these working to right these wrongs, it is true that for those working to right these wrongs, the life you save may be your own.
Right.
And so, my friends, I ask you to look around. Look at your friends and family and allies. Appreciate them and support one another, for in doing so you support myself, Mumia, and so many others wrongly serving time. Know that I am with you and appreciate your efforts. Know that I am in the water that refreshes you, in the food that nourishes you, and in the air that sustains you.
Right.
You cannot lock justice within walls or bars. Justice surges through all of us and unites us. Justice has done more to further the advance of mankind's endeavors than any gun or weapon. Thank you for your belief in justice. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you. Mitakuyase, we are all related.
Leonard Peltier's release date and so that of Mumia Jamal is May 1st. All we need to do is make it happen with a general strike that starts March 8th. And the information is right here. They told us to wait till May 1st. Who's being manipulated? We are the ones in charge. I am Peter. I am your servant. And I'm sharing this with any and all who set free Jamal and Peltier. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we're going to offer these songs. Before we do, I just want to say that